Hello, and welcome to Dr. T's World. I'm Dr. T, and this is my Dr. T Teaches series. While you're here, please like and subscribe, as I would love to see you in my next video. If you would like to learn more about me and my world, please go to my website at drtsworld.com. In my teaching series videos, I will be discussing ideas, concepts, and theories from the fields of psychology and sociology. These are two fields that I teach courses from at the college level. In this video, I will be discussing the word race and using myself as the examples given. Thanks for being here, and now it's time to explore your world. When thinking about the word race, what kinds of ideas or thoughts come to mind? How might you define the word race? Go ahead and take some time to think about that. Given I have a doctorate in psychology, I'm going to be using the American Psychological Association and their definition for the word race. According to APA, race refers to the social construction and categorization of people based on perceived shared physical traits that result in the maintenance of a socio-political hierarchy. The term is loosely applied to geographic, cultural, religious, or national groups. Self-reported race frequently varies owing to changing social contexts and an individual's possible identification with more than one race. So let's break that down, shall we? First, race is a social construct. When APA says that race refers to the social construction and categorization of people, what they're referring to is that race is an idea. It's a concept that was created by society. Race doesn't just naturally occur within society. It's something that we're taught. It's something that we created, we've maintained over time. Certainly the earliest aspects of a racial category or category of peoples we can look to within our US census system, which began in the late 1700s. So in the United States, this idea of race has been around for hundreds of years. Although racial categories didn't start in the late 1700s as the same categories as they are now, I'm going to discuss what they are now. So typically in terms of racial categories in the United States, we have a few here. The racial categories that would appear to be the categories that are most generally known are white Caucasian, Black African American, American Indian or Alaska Native, Asian or Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, and then an other box. And these are categories from our most current US Census. That's where I'm getting these categories from. So as I've mentioned, we are taught the concept of race and these racial distinctions or colors of people, white and Black in particular. And those are descriptions that are used quite frequently to describe other people. But we know white and Black as colors. Typically, when you're learning about colors as children, you're learning about all these colors: white, black, and red, and green, yellow, blue, orange. Primary colors, things like that. And as a child growing up, when I was learning about my colors and when it came to learning about, oh, there's blue, orange, purple, and then we have a white. Oh, what is white? I didn't automatically think, oh, my dad is white. This is just like my dad. No, I didn't. I, as a child, didn't have a concept of calling my parents or identifying them based on a color until society taught me that these are individuals that you could attribute a color to. When I'm learning about Black, I'm not thinking, oh, look at this crayon. This is like my mom. My mom's Black. No, I had to learn that that's how society refers to people a group of people based on distinct finite characteristics that she's Black. Society informed me of that because skin color doesn't match crayon colors. And as a kid, that can be very confusing. If you have, oh, white are these people, Black are these people, then when it comes to an individual like myself who doesn't have the same complexion as my father or as my mother, then that's when things can, descriptions of people evolve over time. So, APA discussed that we categorize people based on a number of traits, based on a finite number of traits. It's certainly a pretty specific sort of go-to list that we have and that we look at in order to help determine what somebody's race might be. If we're looking at somebody, what features might you be looking for if you're going to attempt to identify someone based on race? What are you noticing in an individual to help you derive or come to a conclusion about what a perceived race might be in regards to somebody else? And I say perceived because we are all creating a perception based on looking at someone and being aware of the individual's traits or features. We're making a perception. So if I'm growing up in the community that I grew up in, I was perceived to be one race, which was a Black individual. But I noticed when I went off to college or became an adult and I was traveling outside of the community that I was raised in, other people would look at my features and they would come to a different perception about what my race might be. That could be mixed race. It could also be what kind of mixed race person might I be. Many people typically like to guess, oh, I get white Black, or I even get Black Hispanic. I've gotten Hispanic. And I have also had people try to guess which parent is white and which parent is Black. So these are perceptions based on those individuals and the environments that those individuals grew up in. They're going to be looking at me, taking in features, and then coming to a conclusion about my race. But let's go back to these features. Again, I asked, if you're looking at somebody, what things are you looking for in order to determine somebody's race? So, were you able to think about some of these finite features that our definition is referring to in terms of identifying someone's perceived race? So, here are a couple of things. Okay, I'll stop at the top. We have skin color, complexion. Certainly that's looked at in order to determine or come to a conclusion about somebody's race. We have eye shape. We have eye color. We have hair texture. We have facial form or facial features. So the shape of the face, the features on the face, the nose, the cheeks, the chin, jawline. Is the face oval? Is it circular? Form of the face. And then last, we have body shape. So these are or would be considered the most common finite features that we take into consideration when looking at someone's race. So we usually don't take in just one of these features. You're not going to be able to determine what my race is based on just my eye color, which is brown. There are many people with brown eyes, so that doesn't give us a lot of clues about race. So you have to take eye color. Then maybe you take complexion. But if you look at my complexion alone also is not going to help you identify what my race is. There are absolutely white people that can have a complexion that is darker than mine, or is definitely more brown than my complexion. So can't really take my eye color or my skin color by itself. So you're probably looking at other things. Could be features, I'm a mixed race person, so my features may or may not match my parents. So for someone like myself, you'd probably take in my hair texture. If I straighten my hair, that might throw people off a little bit. It's usually when I've received or have had people guess that my identity is Hispanic, Black and Hispanic, or Afro-Latina. So sometimes depending upon how I change my look, that could impact how a community might or individuals might perceive me racially. I like to think of race as I'm moving to close out this video. I like to think of race as the cover of a book. And you know, when they say, oh, you don't want to judge a book for its cover. Well, in society, when it comes to race, we typically get to a racial identity very quickly. We take in information and then we come to a conclusion very quickly. And so that's sort of how I like to perceive the concept of race. It's just judging a book by its cover. You're just taking in that cover of a book. You're not opening it because that's where the story is. You're just taking in details. Is there an image on the front? Is there, what's the title say? What's the binding? You know, you're just taking in whatever features you can and then coming to a conclusion about what that book could be, what genre. And the same could be said for race and people. Just taking in information very quickly could be correct. In my regard, it's hit and miss. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. Most people aren't going to guess, of course, that my mother is not from this country, that she's Jamaican. You're not going to really get that from just looking at me, especially with my dad involved. Kind of mixes things up a little bit. But yeah, that's how I perceive race. It's like judging a book by its cover, and you have to judge it to come to a conclusion. It's your own individual perception. Now, in my next video, I'm going to be discussing the term ethnicity. And ethnicity is like opening the book and getting all that story about the person. So I'll be talking about that in my next video, which I hope to see you there. Thank you for watching Dr. T Teaches and my Dr. T Teaches series. Hope to see you in my next video. And don't forget to always explore your world.